Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of your girl, Carlene.
Plus Jaime.
Yes, we're so glad to be here again.
Facts.
Honestly, that is something that we should never, ever take for granted, just
Facts.
being here.
Facts.
We hope and pray that you all have had a blessed week. For those that are watching that are Sabbath keepers, we want to say happy Sabbath. For those that are not, we want to say happy Friday.
Happy weekend, TGIF.
Yes. And for those of you who are kind of watching it not on the weekend and you just kind of catching us during the week, hello.
What's up?
So we're so glad to be back here on our podcast. We're just so grateful for all of those that have subscribed. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
I think I said 80. Do you remember the number I said last week?
804.
804, 806. Well, it's 816.
Oh, wow.
So it's growing. Thank you
We
for
praise God
subscribing.
for that. Yes. Thank you all so much for truly supporting us. We're really trying to, of course, be consistent, but we want to truly be the mentors for the messy middle.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be the mentors that we wish we had when we were going through the first early stages of our marriage and even now. And so we hope and pray that we continue to create that space, not only for ourselves, but for all of you as well. And for if you are that one that is watching and you yet have not subscribed, we ask that you just do that. Go ahead and join the party as we really try to come on here and create content that's relatable, content that is, content that we needed when we were in certain stages in our marriage.
Right.
So, yeah, we're so glad. So last week was a really good conversation about sex. And more so that right now, it's, I guess, not to say that you can't experience the, as we phrased it, the I'm tired response when your spouse is trying to initiate an intimate time sex, essentially. And so we talked through a lot, actually. We talked a lot about, what does it truly mean to me? What does it truly mean to a female? Some females, when the husband turns over and are, they're rubbing you, they're essentially beginning to initiate that time. And so what happens when that response that a woman or man may have, that I'm too tired. We talked and delved into some possible reasons why what I'm tired means, right? And so for those of you who have not watched that episode, we implore you to go ahead and watch that and then come back and watch this episode, because this is kind of like a Jaime's or a male's take on what happens to his mind, what happens to his brain as it relates to when your spouse says, I'm too tired. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off to Jaime right away and just kind of help us as females or give a little bit more clarity. Because I talked about I'm tired or I'm too tired to have sex, essentially for me meant that it's not that I don't want to, it's just that there's so many different things happening in my mind and that need or that desire to want to have sex is connected, right? It's hard for me to disconnect in that way. And so just talked about hormones being a possible issue, as well as life, right? All the things that life throws at us at times, how important it is for your spouse to know those reasons, to communicate those reasons, and it not just being, I'm too tired every night. I'm too tired. And I can almost guarantee that if that is the case and it happens all the time, I can almost guarantee that there are going to be issues.
Right.
And so tonight, Jaime's going to kind of walk through us through what it is. What does it mean when I say I'm tired?
Yeah. That's good. So I think I'll start with, all right, if it's like multiple, I'm too tired. So say if it's one night, you're trying to initiate and you get, I'm tired. I think most men would probably be understandable of, all right, yo, you're tired.
Right.
But then like, if it's like night two, like you give time in between, say it's a Monday and then it gets to like Thursday, and you're still tired. And then it gets to next week and you're still tired. There's something that goes off in my brain that I don't know if you know this, but I'll share my personal perspective, right?
This is why we're here tonight.
Yeah. So my personal brain goes into, you don't find me attractive anymore. Yeah. Or my personal brain. So what happens is the first night, if you say you're too tired, then I'm going to say, okay, she's too tired, but she's got me on her mind that she's going to at least the next time say, okay, let's do this. Right.
So question, just pause a few moments. Is this without communicating why I'm tired?
Yeah.
Or is this, this is
so this is without, this is without communicating, right? Okay. This is without you communicating. And this
reasons why.
Gotcha. So I have to just basically assume that I know, or I figure out like, yo, she had a long day. It's too much going on. So she's basically like saying, okay, nah. So I would say in my brain, okay, obviously she's going to come around maybe on Wednesday, right? And so Wednesday, if I try to anticipate again, and then I hear I'm too tired, my brain is going into a different mode of thinking. My brain wants to know, is it something with me? Is it something I said or something I didn't say? And this is without communication, right? Like the brain starts going into a different place because I think for men, at least, intercourse is intimacy. Like I feel that when we do that you are attracted to me and you're showing that you love me.
One of the ways, or is this the way?
One of the ways.
Okay.
But this is like an important way.
Okay.
Yeah, to like kind of like just kind of make me feel like I don't know if it's confident, but assured in knowing that you still desire me. Because then my brain is like, yo, what, I don't look good no more. I'm not attractive anymore. Am I repulsive to you that you just not like feeling me anymore? And then I start like trying to mitigate the situation. Like, okay, maybe I need to hit the gym, or maybe I need to start, maybe I'm just not good enough or satisfying enough, because I feel like if you eat something and it's good, you want it again.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you go somewhere that was fun, or if you've had an experience that was great, you'd want that again. So then my brain probably goes into the experiences, or the experience has not been great. So you're just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want it.
Gotcha. That makes sense, right? Because you think like, what other reasons could it possibly be? If you're not tired, I mean, like if life is always going to be, but if you want, like, it's almost like going to a restaurant, like, and I'm not trying to put sex into in a small box as a restaurant, but I'm thinking like you go to a restaurant and something tastes really good, like you want to keep going back.
Right.
Again and again because it's that good. So I think that makes sense. Let me just say that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
As to why your mind, or why the male's mind or female's mind may think, man, like, am I no longer one? Am I no longer attractive to that person? Do I no longer arouse them in that way? Do I no longer hit it like, you know what I mean? Like, am I no longer
putting it down?
Putting it down.
Laying it down.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Okay.
Am I no longer able to do these things? So again, it makes sense.
And especially if like in the early stages of your marriage, it was consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That it was regular and, and then and then you get to later years, the messy middle, kids come into the perspective, you start changing, your body's changing, and then you're like, okay, what went wrong? What happened? What changed? And I understand that, life goes on, work and your body changes and things like that. But then it can like really send me or some brothers into like almost like a sexual anxiety, right? It's almost like if there's two things or a few things that a man wants to be able to do, is to be able to provide and be able to at least perform.
Okay.
Those two things, like if a woman wants to crush a man, if you want to step on our ego, is talk about how we don't provide or we don't perform.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it gets to a point where it's not happening anymore, he or I am left in a place to start question, especially if you're not courageous to ask, like, yo, what's really good? Because then you don't want to ask because you don't want to sound crazy, like, or hear some response like, yo, is that's all that's on your mind? That's all that you think about? That's all you want? Like all that. So you kind of like just leave it alone, keep it moving, and just hope that you get it whenever you can get it.
Wow. So is there any point in time, especially the earlier years or like where kids came into play and it wasn't as frequent, like did you feel at all the need to initiate a conversation to say, hey, yo, what's good? Or are you more like, let me just wait it out and see and try to and not try to figure it out, but just kind of wait and see if it'll happen. If it happens, great. But you like walk me through like what happens to your brain. Like, is there an opportunity or is there a time where you're just like, yeah, let me go ahead and ask the question or questions, or are you afraid of the answers and refuse to answer to ask those questions?
Yeah, I think my personality is more weighted out. I think my personality is more of eventually we'll talk about it or just wait it out and then whatever it comes. But I know that in the meantime, in between, I am contemplating and thinking about, okay, what do I have to do to make it better? Like, what do I have to do personally within me? I'm doing my own soul searching because something is not right.
Gotcha.
With me, probably. And so I'm trying to figure out, so that I'm trying to hope that the next time that it happens, that I put it down. And, when that happens, it doesn't happen, right? It ends up being worse or sometimes not exactly the moment that's the way it should be. So my personality is more of like, yo, just keep it moving and just figure out like whenever it happens, it happens.
Gotcha. That's good. That's good insight for sure. Because I do think that when it comes to intimacy, that it is not just the act, right?
Right.
It is preparing the way, like doing different things, whether it's texting, like the couple care, right? The couple care menu, I think, plays into creating that connection, that deep connection emotionally, so that the act of sex can be something that is even more like amazing, out of this world, because of that deep emotional connection.
Correct. And I think what's different is how we're wired, because I believe that for a male, I don't need all that text and stuff to set the atmosphere or make the mood or whatever, you just got to walk out. You just got to walk past me.
I know.
Or you just got to walk out the shower or, just change your clothes and I'm ready to go. So I think the difference in what's good to understand about the messy middle is that you require different things than I require.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we both need to figure out the way to get to that place. Because for me, it's not, I'm not saying that don't do it. I love the text messages and I love all that stuff. And then I'll get to another point.
Yep,
I love all of that.
I know where you're about to go.
That all leads up to it. And it ignites a fire to want to. So yes, that too. But I don't really need all of that. And then I think you know where I'm going.
Yeah. Can you?
I can hold there? That. Okay, I'll pause right there.
Pause right there. I think, I think that the messy middle is realizing the difference.
Right.
Right. Some couples get it before that or experience that before that. I think for me personally, I always, not that I thought that you and I were the same, right? Because we are different. But in terms of like what we need.
Right.
Right. And I think that was like really an important part in our marriage was recognizing that our needs are different. And it's all about how do we come together to meet one another's needs. Even though I may not see it the way you see it, or you may not see it the way that I see it or need it the way that I need it. I think that's the beauty of communicating and marriage, right? Where you're literally coming together and trying to have the best solution for what works for you and your spouse.
Right.
Because oftentimes, sometimes you can sit there and be comparing yourself to another relationship, not realizing that those are two different people and they can be complete opposites from you. And so here you are like saying, oh my gosh, they have a couple goals and all the things, but you don't really realize or recognize what goes into couple goals. Right. And I think that's something I had to recognize in the middle of trying to say, okay, to see it your way, to see your perspective and not just become selfish in, well, this is how I feel.
Right.
And this is how I am. And I'm just, if he'll understand that, then I'm just going to go ahead and just not, or hold out or make sex use it as a weapon of sorts, or like I'm going to hold out so that he will suffer and he won't understand, so he can understand, you know what I mean? Like be in that selfish, immature mode.
Right. And on the flip side to that, when there's too many I'm tired or too many no's, I feel rejected. So I don't feel like you're just saying no to that. I feel like you are rejecting all of me. So then on the flip side, my immaturity would be like, well, sure. If she don't want to give it to me, I'm sure there's somebody else who would want this, or I'm sure I could find it or find myself and relieve myself in other different ways without understanding why you're tired or why you're saying no. Because I believe that as a male, I go right into, there's something wrong with me. Or, or if I start seeing you smiling and laughing with another guy at church and y'all could just be friends, and I'm be like, okay, so that's what's happening. That's what's going on, right? Because the constant no's eventually begin to start taking a toll mentally, which affects physically.
But I definitely think the importance of communicating that to your spouse is so important, because you can literally spiral into stuff or things that aren't necessarily there.
Right.
So that's why I feel like, again, we are the mentors for the messy middle.
Messy middle.
Go ahead and communicate to your spouse and say, hey, this is how it makes me feel. And I understand that you may be tired. Help me to understand, what does that tired mean? And what can I do to help? What can I do to aid in that? And for the female or the male to say on the opposite side, to say, you know what, thank you so much. For example, like you will be like, you know what, now I understand, I get it. And for me to say, you know what, I know that this is so important to you. Let's go ahead and schedule a time. Let's go ahead and schedule a time to talk. Let's go ahead and schedule, if you need the build up, then let's talk through how we can, what is our plan of action? How are we going to move forward, and not just be open to happenstance or open to like, oh, like one day, you know, maybe today, not today. All right, maybe tomorrow. And then you get deeper and deeper and deeper in terms of thinking about the negative, thinking about things that aren't. So I think that's so important.
Right. And then when you schedule it, like, make it nice.
Yes.
Like, don't make it
make it nice.
Don't make it like
cheesy.
Or here it is.
Sorry.
Here it is. Take it. Right. Because I think also too, there's nothing worse than when it feels like you're the only one into it.
Yeah.
When it feels like you're the only one and it's just like a chore.
Yeah.
Like, don't make it feel like it's a chore or you're just doing it just like, okay, here you go, because I know you need this. Like, that's I think that's even worse.
Yeah, it is. It's worse than no, because like
I'm doing you a little favor.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know, it's like
not I'm doing you a little favor.
Yeah, it's like a booty call. It's like, all right, come get this and then go home. Right. So I think
it's probably a righteous booty call.
Okay.
I don't know why I just
Okay.
I didn't mean righteous booty call.
All right, we want to call it a RBC.
Oh gosh, no.
So if you're gonna make it a RBC, you know, make it pleasing.
No, what I'm saying is
RBC with fries.
Jamie.
Like, can you add a soft drink to it?
Jamie, stop.
All right.
What I'm trying to say is that, you know, booty calls are usually outside of the context of marriage.
Correct.
So that's why I said it was righteous booty call, in that it's in the context of a God ordained.
Right. That's right. The marriage bed is holy and undefiled.
Yes. And so that's why I said that. But hopefully that doesn't. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to mess with. I think you might have started a trend amongst the Christian population. But you know, make it nice, right?
Yeah.
Like, plan it and be like, yo, on this day, it's definitely going to be a moment of intimacy. And I think also a conversation of, what would you like to see? Or, you know, what would make it nice? Or what would you like? And I think all of those things are important conversations that can be had and should be had.
I feel like that is another part of couple care as well, where you have the couple care menu where you talk about like life and you connect in that way. But I feel like a couple care menu for the bed, for that intimate time is also very important. And that's that just came to my mind. I was like, maybe we'll come up, maybe we'll do that. We'll do that in an intentional way, opposed to just kind of be conversation. Yeah. But it can be like an intentional way, like, let's think through like what can we explore together? Because I don't think it should just be, what do you like, but what do we like?
Right.
What works best for us, right? So that it can be more meaningful, and it could, you know, you can go deeper in more ways than one.
Okay, deeper,
yes.
Yes, deeper yet. That's what I'm talking about. But I was also going to say,
sorry, are you going to say what you were going to say before?
Yes, unless you don't want me to.
No, I want you to.
I was also going to say that ladies, and even we're talking with the male, so I'm talking to the ladies, right? So ladies,
oh gosh,
do not, I repeat, do not send your man, try your best to send your man racy text messages, racy images while he's at work or while he's wherever he is. And then when he comes home, don't hit him with the 3 words, I'm too tired, right? Or like, I am sleepy, because that creates it's like one of the biggest ultimate letdowns.
Yeah. It's disappointing.
It's disappointing.
Yeah. It's like when you go to a store or your favorite restaurant and they're talking about, we don't have that.
Right.
Or, like.
Right. You looking forward to eating that curry, that jerk, that fried chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
And all day it's on the menu. They keep showing Instagram ads and you on your mind. You pull up and they don't got no more.
Yeah.
And then you call them and ask, like, yo, y'all got more? And then you pull up and it's not there. I think that is like, that's often a difficult. And then like, as a brother, you gotta be cool, right? You can't, unless some brothers probably get angry, but you want to be cool and be like, I bet, whatever, moving on. But I think like that's very unfair. I don't think that's fair to your significant other, and vice versa, right? Some dudes is probably doing it to their spouses, and then they, which is very rare if a woman comes. But
I think it's definitely
possible. Yeah,
possible.
Yeah, it's possible. And the guy's like, nah, I don't feel like it. Now I know that. I think in probably our next episode, we'll probably talk about maybe how you feel when I say I'm too tired.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's going to be a whole different conversation. But I think it's very, very, very unfair to like lead them on like that and then not go, because now this is probably a question for you, and you could answer however you want to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's my understanding that males reproduce much more faster than women. And it's been said that we need it more than women need it. So it's almost like a man is like every maybe 24 hours or 48 hours, like he's ready. And a woman, they say, is her body timing is a little bit different, that it's not like every day. Like a guy could want it every day or every 3 days or whatever, like more consistently, more frequently. Do you feel like that statement is true?
I don't know. I probably have to like, I don't think so. I think it depends on the woman or the man. I think it all depends on makeup. I think it all depends on health. I think there's just so many factors I think that would contribute to that being true or untrue.
Okay, I can see
situation, situations, because I know that there are for sure women who have a very high sex drive, and that thing could every single day, maybe twice a day, 3 times, depending on that. So I think it all depends. I think it is possible, but I also think it's also possible for a woman to want it or to need it just as much as a man does.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That works. I can get with it. I mean, we have to look at it scientifically.
Yeah.
But, the general consensus, or what I've heard, is that because we reproduce so much, that we reproduce so quickly, and we're visual, it's a more of like not a necessity or a desire for us for it to be more often than for it to be every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or every other week. That it's just like we're ready to go more often than our sisters.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that for sure, because I think age also age is also a factor in that, they say that a man's sexual drive declines, like where as he gets older, like he's not as when he was in his 20s or, you know what I mean? Or his 30s. So I think it's all dependent on whatever, but I don't know if that will be completely true, that statement. But again, that's just something that I don't know, because I don't have research. I have not researched it to know whether or not that's true or false.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I appreciate you not trying to make up an answer.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. It's like as a teacher, I'm like, do you know the answer? You're the teacher. No, actually I don't. Or the parent, I actually don't know the answer to that. How about we research it together?
Right. Or like a pastor, we always trying to make up answers for stuff that we have no clue or no idea about.
No, let it go and go ahead and search it up.
Yes.
Google is your friend. But But yeah, I think this was a really great, insightful conversation about like a man's perspective or the other perspective, because I don't want to just narrow it down to it's all males feel what you express. I think it crosses over into different. I keep hitting this mic. It crosses over into different genders and whatnot. So. Yeah, I think that, and I hope that it was as insightful as it was insightful to me. I pray that it was as insightful to you and get a deeper meaning. But I think the cusp of this conversation is communicate.
That's right. Communicate. And I hope, I didn't speak on behalf of all brothers, but I'm just expressing what I feel like most brothers go through, in that when it's constant rejection in that department can take a toll on us mentally in all sorts of different ways. So brothers, if you agree, like, share, comment. Sisters, if you learned something, like, share, comment. Or if you just like the vibe and the whole aesthetic of our show, like, share, and comment.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we appreciate you tuning in with us on this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you are watching. And if you haven't subscribed, once again, please subscribe to Carlene plus Jaime.
Great conversation. Can't wait to come back next week as we really talk about, as we dive in a little bit more as it relates to
how you feel when the brother says, I'm good.
No, not tonight.
That's right. So next week's conversation is going to be quite the interesting one. And I'm sure I'm going to learn a few things as well.
Maybe. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. But once again, thank you so much for joining us. This is your girl, Carlene.
And it's your boy, Jaime.
Peace.